Hi and welcome along to part 2 in my Arrow video collection series. Now in the last episode, which I'll link down below, I talked about my sort of special editions, the big box, the sort of the ones that are a bit more hard, the hard box ones, the ones that are a bit more special. And these ones I will go through my slipcase versions and also the white box Arrow videos that were released in the early 2010s. I think they stopped at maybe about 2015, possibly. I think they said that when they made them, they were got damaged quite a lot, so they're a bit more expensive to make. They didn't really add up to the price that they were going to make for them. But I did really think that they were stunning versions. I wish they kept them going because they look great on the shelf when they're all together. But never mind, they swapped over. That's just where it is. So yes, so moving along swiftly now. I don't want to keep this video as long as it was the last one, but I appreciate you coming back for more. So this is, if you look on my shelf, this is how my shelves progress. So we're still on the top shelf here, and the next one after the big box sets are this one, which is from I'm going to look at here, and it's not going to tell you what the year is. 1974. Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia. Now this one is it's a lovely slipcase, that, because it's got your spot gloss on it, which is just on some of it. Yes, you can see it there. Lovely there. Great film this, although I haven't seen the Arrow version of this one. Although I do want to watch it because I loved it when it was on TV, and this is like the limited edition, and it's brand new 4K restoration. I think you can get this more or less the same version without the slipcase and that, but it's nevertheless it's a lovely one. I don't know why I haven't swapped that cover over into the other cover, because I usually try to do that with the slipcases, or maybe I didn't with these ones, because sometimes I haven't went back to these videos for quite a while, so I might not know what I've done with them. So it's quite a good thing to find out that in essence myself. The next one is an early slasher, Blood Rage. Now this one here is a 3-disc director's approved limited edition, and you get 3 versions of the film. Now I have watched this one. I'm trying to think if I liked it or not. I did used to like it. I did like it, but I don't know to what extent I did like it, because a lot of these films I've watched quite a while ago. I need to revisit them just to see what they're all about. Yes, I do remember it now, and I do remember it being quite a good little film actually. It was one of them horror films that sometimes Arrow release that, even though I knew a lot about early slasher films, you just don't know about this one. There's a few and go, well, I've never even heard of that one. Excuse me if there's a bit of dust flying off these ones. I should have cleaned these ones down. Now this one here is a special edition slipcover, or more or less a slip box, of one of my favourite films of all time, and also one of my favourite directors, very underrated. It is Russ Meyer's Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. Now this one here is limited edition, and also gives you another film on it, which is called, and I'm going to blank on that one as well, The 7 Minutes is another film from 1971, I think. Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, 1969. So that's quite a famous scene from the film. So I've swapped that one around there, so you can see both versions of it without having to, take the disc out and all that. This is a lovely version. I was really pleased to get this one, and it's one of them ones where my wife has read the original book, The Valley of the Dolls, and it's completely different to this film. And she went, "Oh, is this like a sequel to Valley of the Dolls?" And I went, "No, I don't think you'll like it at all." But I love it, that film. It's so 70s, so 60s, it's unbelievable. Now this one as well has got one of these, where I've recently found out what the name of these these slip cases are, and it's Soft Touch. Now this one's here is one of my favourites of all time. Weird Science, I must have watched this 1,000 times when I was a kid. Couldn't get enough of it. Just love the whole, and that's what I would consider as the most well known of it. I've owned this one quite a few times, even on Blu-ray. But when I got this on with Arrow, I decided to get rid of the other Blu-ray, and this one's. It's a lovely special edition with, and it's a new restoration as well. So love that slip cover. This soft touch slip covers are really nice. I would imagine if you didn't take care of them, they would get marked very easily. But it does when it catches a light. There's a bit of sort of neon about it. I just don't know how to describe it, but it's a lovely slip cover. It's one of them ones where if you didn't know anything about the film, you'd be drawn to it. But it is a great film as well. Very watchable. Very 80s as well. Now this is one of the ones that I've just started to watch because I've been into watching all the Lucio Fulci films, and this one is the I'm going to say it's about 1972. Don't Torture a Duckling. Now it's quite a strange title for a film, but if you watch the film you will kind of understand what it meant, although I don't think it specifically states it in the film, but I think it's more or less don't really sort of like torture kids, if I'm gonna say that, but don't want to give anything about it. But it says deemed shocking at its time for its brutal violence, so child murder and paedophilia and all that type of thing. So it's got some very strong things it talks about, but it's a really good film actually, and I did much enjoy it a lot more when I watched it this time round. I'd seen it on a previous Blu-ray or a previous DVD, but in this one I really did enjoy it. It is a very good film actually, early Fulci. This next one is a film that's funny enough, HorrorHands has just got his hands on from a recent haul that he's had, and this is The Prey. Now I've got to admit, when I watched it, that's a lovely cover, that both the covers are lovely. When I watched HorrorHands' review of it, I was really intrigued what he said, and he more or less said word for word what I would have said about this film. It looks really good, but it's not really good. Now I watched the longest cut on here, and they're all brand new. I mean, it looks good, don't get us wrong, it looks good, and HorrorHands did mention about the fact that the nature of the scenery looked really good, and it did. I'm not going to say it didn't, but I don't know if I'm going to revisit it again and watch a different cut of the film, because I don't know if the one I watched just seemed to be massively overlong and just drawn out, and I just thought they could have done with getting rid of half of the film. So now there is a shorter version of this on this. I think I will go for it, but I do agree wholeheartedly with HorrorHands on this one. It promised a lot, but it didn't deliver as much. But I will give it another shot on its second watch. But lovely packaging on it, man. Lovely packaging on it. Now this next one it's a Region A one. No, actually it's an all region one, but it is from the US, and it is Basket Case. Obviously you can't get it in the UK, but you can get it in the US. Probably rights. Well, it's always rights problems, isn't it? That's the horror collectors, like bane, isn't it? That you can't get stuff from the country you live in. But this one here was part of some stuff I recently bought off HorrorHands73 again. Big shout out to him, because and if you ever get anything from him, it's always in pristine condition. Probably not even opened, and I don't think it was opened actually, if I'm honest. Don't think it was opened. So yes, but it's a classic film. I've got the trilogy on a Blu-ray together, by your box set. I'm keeping that one, but I think this one here, brand new 4K restoration, I've had a look at it, and it is better than the one on the UK Blu-ray. Although I wish Arrow would have released it over here, but no, they just kind of if the rights aren't there, they just can't do it. Same with Creepshow has just come over here, but it was only available over there for quite a bit, and obviously they need to get their hands on Creepshow 1 and get that moving. The next one is The Mutilator, which I thought was quite a good slasher, and there was quite a few nasty bits, and one particularly very nasty bit in it, which had to do with that hook. But the film is more, I would say, more psychological than it is sort of like a gore fest, but it's pretty good, don't get us wrong. It's not a film that I didn't like to watch, but I did maybe expect a little bit more of it, but it was a good watch, and it was nasty in places. A lovely slip as well. All of these slips from Arrow, I've got to admit, are really nice. Excuse me. Now this film is a funny film because it is released on a really huge box set by Arrow, and I didn't go for it because I don't know, I think I have seen it, but I don't know if I've seen it, and I don't know if I'm going to like it. I don't know if I even like the thought of it. I don't know what it is. There's some of these films, when you get them, you think everyone else likes it. I don't know if I'm going to like it, and I'm putting it off. It's just one of them ones that doesn't really speak I want to watch it to us. And you're going to not believe it's Donnie Darko. Now, I'm going to get a lot of comments when people say, well, I like the film. I'm not saying it's going to be a bad film or anything like that. And I have had a brief look at it, and it's a really good print on it. So it ticks all the boxes, but I just don't know what it is that doesn't make me want to watch it. And it's not that I don't want to watch it, sorry. I didn't want to go for the big super duper version because I didn't think I liked it that much. But I will watch it, but it's not high on my list to watch. But it's a funny one where like, a lot of people would say, you've got to watch it. But for me, I mean, I think I just got this from Tesco's or something. It was only about £8. So I was all right with that. But I didn't think I wanted to, you know, fork out for a big special edition if I didn't like it. But you can always resell them, I suppose, if you get that point where you think you really dislike a film. I don't think there's many Arrow films that I've got over the years that I've really, really disliked. Sometimes if they've got one that I don't like the look of, I just won't go near. Now this next one is a lovely slipcase. This one, it's Contamination, and this one was banned back in the day. And I don't know if you can see the fact that eye sort of like glints in the light. I don't think I'll pick it up on there, but it looks stunning. And so this one here, and Hooked on Horror. If you want to go and check this channel out, which I talked about in my 100 subs video, which I'll leave a link down here, go and have a look at Hooked on Horror's site. He does a really in-depth version of this this release with lots of footage and lots of talk about this actual unboxing of this disc and talking about the whole film in general, which I found very interesting. I do urge you to go and visit his channel and subscribe. Hooked on Horror. But this is one of my favourite films, I must admit. It is an Alien rip-off in a good way, in a way that all the Italian people seem to do best. If they want to rip something off, they rip it off, but they do it in quite a way that you think, bit of dust. So yes, so this next one I bought predominantly because I like the look of the slipcover. I didn't know anything about it, and when I watched it for some of the film, I thought, what on earth am I watching here? But by the end of it, I did really enjoy the film. But the slipcover was a selling point for me on this, and this is the Guyver, and it's a lovely slipcover. The film is a little bit, if you can imagine, something like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers ish, with a bit of gore hiding, and it's actually got Luke Skywalker in it. Can you believe it? But no, it's a good film. It's one of them films. It's an 80s film. It's cheesy. It's got Michael Berryman as well from Hills of Eyes. But it's very watchable, and I did enjoy it, and I did really just love that cover. I flipped out the cover there. That's another one there. It's quite good actually. That might have been like an old cover. It looks like an old cover. So yeah. So the next one is what I can only describe as one of the best films I've never seen. Now that's not true. I have seen this film. I saw it a long time ago. And I got it, was going to watch it, then I knew it was going to come out in a better version. So I thought, right, I'll get the better version, especially for one of the extras on here. Now, one of the extras on here, which it didn't have on the original release, is, and I can't say it, and even I'm looking at it, it has got, because I know it's got, because I watched it, it's, yes, Let the Show Begin, Anatomy of the Killer theme tune, an all-new interview with the original members of the American punk band The Dickies. Now, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, I haven't watched it for such a long time, but I do mean to watch it. It's one of the it's behind me on my list. I do think that my wife would probably want to watch it as well, because me and my wife, I've loved the band The Dickies for the longest of times, and obviously I knew when this came out they were singing the song for that. This is back in the day, 1988. That's what I originally watched it for. I did find it a bit daft, but now I can revisit it. I know it was meant to be daft as well. I was expecting a bit more gore, I suppose. But over the years, me and my wife have seen the Dickies a lot of times live, and we've talked to them as well. I've met most of the band. In fact, I've met all of the band. The current band, I think I've met the whole lot of them. Talked to them on Facebook, and the real good bunch of people. And me and my wife love going to see them. Obviously with COVID, we can't see them at the minute, but I think we've seen them 5 times. But I'd see them if they come over the UK every year, we go and see them every year. It's as simple as that. And we've got a lot of love for the Dickies, so we're going to be releasing their final album soon. I mean, they're talked about for a couple of years, but this is a lovely print compared to the old Arrow one. This one you can definitely see there's been a 4K scan on it. It is vastly improved, especially the colours. So the next one here is another soft touch one. Now I've watched this one a lot of times back in the day, but I've never seen it since I've got it. It's a brand new 2K restoration of, is it Ken Russell? Yeah, Ken Russell's film Crimes of Passion. Now, it's such a bizarre film, I can't really describe it, but it's an early 80s British enfant terrible. Ken Russell travelled to the United States to place this unorthodox imprint on a pair of US movies, Altered States, which was crazy. I think that's out on Blu-ray, and Crimes of Passion. Now, it's I don't know if everyone's cup of tea, but I know that it's got Anthony Perkins there from Psycho, Norman Bates, and if you just watch it and just kind of get into it, you'll be amazed at what a sort of weird film this is. But it's and I don't know how to describe it, but I do really like this film. Although saying that, I haven't watched it since I got it. I do need note to self, I do need to watch some of these horror films. They just put them off, you get them and you say, well, I'll do it, but I'll do it another day. Now this next one here is the last one I've got from a slipcase. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually I'm going to talk about another two. I'm going to keep going. Deadbeat at Dawn. Now this is made by Jim Van Bebber, is it? Yes, Jim Van Bebber, and it's quite a good film actually. I wasn't expecting much from it. Very low budget, and I think he's playing a sort of Rambo type sort of character in that, and it's very much it's a bit tongue in cheek if I'm honest, but it's quite good. It's got a little bit of the Warriors as well. It's got a bit of that sort of thing to it. It's all right if you know what you're getting into. If you were going into it thinking it was a bit of a high end sort of gang warfare thing, you'd be a bit shocked at how low budget it is. But take it with a pinch of salt, and it's notorious blood drenched cult classic. Yes, okay, but lovely slipcover that. I was glad to get it with a slipcover. Most of these are is that a word? I don't know. So yeah, so moving on to, and I'm going to say these are the window box ones, but these really aren't window box ones, but I'm going to class them as window box ones because they've got a bit of a look of them, and it's Demons. Could do a good clean that one. This is the original 1985 classic from. It's got a really good cover there. It's got obviously lots of different covers on here. That's the one that I remember. This is from, it's produced by Dario Argento, and it's got a bit of a thing on the back there, and it's, I'm going to blank on his name. How can I blank on this fella's name? I've been watching one of his films the other day. Umberto Lenzi, that's it. Not Umberto Lenzi, my God. Lamberto Bava. I'll get there in the end. Yes, Lamberto Bava film. Really good special edition. It's a different cut on the audio to the UK one, which put us off watching it for a bit, but I haven't watched the UK version for that length of time that it doesn't really matter that I can't really remember everything about the cut and the differences and what the people say and the language and the dubbed by little like different people in that, but I can forget about that now. So yeah, this is a great one. I would like them to do a really good version of this one. They might have lost the rights to it actually. And obviously with that one, you've got to get yourself as well Demons 2. I must admit Demons 2 is more just like Demons. It's just like a remix of Demons. It's not as good by any. It's all right. Don't get us wrong. It's not. I don't like it, but it's just not as good. You're expecting the same as that. It's the same premise, but it's in a block of flats instead of in a theatre. And also in between these two, you get a booklet which tells you a film that might have proposed for Demons 3, but it's like a comic book version of that. So that's in that particular release. It's not in any of the other releases. You can get that on a steelbook and also standalone releases, but I don't know how easy they are to get them. Now this next one I'm going to have to do a little bit of censorship there and just show you that this is Caligula. Now this one here is another one which I didn't never thought that anyone would release it in Britain, especially the full uncut version of it, because it is quite strong, well, very strong, and it's not a great film, I've got to admit. I think the best thing about it is the story behind Caligula, which is quite an amazing story. The more the special features on here are better than the film. The film is pretty much trash. The fact that they had all these people, you know, these highbrow actors, John Gielgud and Helen Mirren and Malcolm McDonnell doing this, I can't believe that they got them to do this film as well. And I think that it was just a complete travesty of the film when it was made. But anyway, it's very good, very explicit, and that's these are all. I did have more of the white box ones. I did have ones that are like the zombie flesh eaters. I had Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead. But the thing is, with them ones, I knew they were going to come out in different versions, more versions that I would watch. Even though these versions are great, don't get us wrong. I've watched them that many times. I've seen all the special edition features on it. I'm quite familiar with it. I don't really need them anymore. So I thought, right, I'll sell them all now, get some good money for it, put that money back into buying other things, and it keeps the space coming down a bit. Say, for instance, if someone put out another version of Caligula, I don't know if I'd swap that one over because it's not exactly the one that I want, but the one I would like to, you know, get in the best ever version. But that version is more than enough for me. Even though I don't really watch the film, I watch the special features on it. But say maybe a thing like this, like Black Sunday. I know that this is, and these, as you know, these all come out and they're swapped around with the other one. You can put them back in to the cover, and you could have a different cover on it. It's a great idea. And then you could swap the covers inside, and you could do them and have them. So you had 4 different covers if you wanted to show them off, which is a brilliant idea, I've got to admit. Never seen it before, never seen it again. And so say, like, for instance, somebody put out a nice 4K version of this and say maybe Blue Underground, and this was going for say like 50-60 pounds. I think I would be forced in my eyes to sell that one and replace it. But I'm not looking to sell it unless it gets topped by anything. That's the way I'm trying to put that. You've got to be very careful you don't catch the panes and all that. Now this one started to go for silly money as well, and it is Mario Bava's. Actually, that was Mario Bava, Black Sunday, which has got a brilliant extra on here. And the extra is a 1956 film called I, Vampiri, which you've got to see to believe the special effects on it. And even Black Sunday is just amazing, black and white as well. But I, Vampiri is a real unbelievable film. It's probably one of the earliest horror films in Italy, apparently. This one here, this one here is Lisa and the Devil. This is another Mario Bava film. I do like collecting his stuff, and it's there's 2 cuts of the film. There's one of them that's well, Lisa and the Devil, and the other one is the House of Exorcism. Now, basically what they did was they took some of the footage from Lisa and the Devil, they mixed it with some new footage, and they turned it into a sort of you know, cheap version of The Exorcist, and just had the lady who is in this film, Elke Summer, had her saying like loads of profanity, which I don't think it fitted with her or Mario Bava, but I think there was a studio sort of put the thing on that they wanted to do that, which was a little bit over the top for him. He didn't really go into that type of thing. And you think this is early 70s as well. Obviously it would have been 74, 73. Next one is one of the best slasher films ever, The Bay of Blood, another Mario Bava classic. Friday the 13th, are you watching? Because literally all these films, all the films that came out after this, owe a massive debt to Bay of Blood. If you watch a Bay of Blood and you haven't seen it before, you will see all of the 80s slasher in the woods, killers, twists. You'll see them all in this film. You know exactly where they got most of the stuff from. But yes, it's good version as well. These versions are, even though they're not remastered, you know, they're not like 4Ks or anything, they still are probably the best that these are getting released at the moment. And they don't mention anything about them being 2K things or 4K scans. Actually, I think these are probably out before 4K scans really happened. Now, this is another one which is it's a great film, And although I like Suspiria, I like this film, but I've never seen the third film, The Mother of Tears. I just don't hear anything good about, and I don't want anything to taint the fact of these two films. This next one here, Inferno, is the second part. Suspiria is the first part of the Mother's trilogy, Inferno the second part. Now this is more like of an eye, like eye fest, like the movie's got some strange imagery in it, which is great to look at. I do prefer Suspiria to this one, but a lot of people prefer this one to Suspiria. But nobody prefers Mother of Tears to these two, that's for sure. So the next one is another one of my favourite films. I did just get this out of the video shop, incessantly, and then of course when it got banned, you couldn't get it anymore, or it got taken off the shelves. Fortunately, Arrow brought it back out in its uncut form, which is a great film, The Exterminator. Got a lot of love for this film, watched it countless times back in the day. Used to be a firm favourite of us when we used to get these videos out at each other's houses on a weekend, go around and get a pile of VHS, and this was always one that got to the top. Now this is the next one, which is when I saw it, I couldn't believe how much I enjoyed it. And I wouldn't say it's not a great film, but it's a great film to me because it's so funny. Frankenhooker. Now it stars, I'm going to try and find his name here. When you want to find people's name, James Lawrence. Is it James? Yes, James Lawrence. He's just so funny. I would love to find more films of his. I know he was in Street Trash as well. He played a great character in Street Trash. But in this one, he plays an equally great character. There's a couple of lines which I'm blanking on at the minute, which he says he goes and stops someone in the street and he speaks Swedish, and he says, "Why is everyone around here Swedish?" Like shouts it out, something like that. But it's so funny, this film. I love this film. I can't get enough of it. And it's not the greatest of prints, and if it ever came out in like a better version of it, I would certainly get it, that's for sure. Now this next one was another one that we used to get out all the time in the back in the days of VHS, and it's Funhouse, Toby Hooper. Great film, and we found this to be quite a scary film back in the day. It was not too scary, but enough to make us want to go and watch it again. It's got some good gore in it, and the killer has got a really great makeup. That was one of the things that sold the film to us. But yeah, the Funhouse, very good film. Excuse me, it's all this talking. Now the next one is another one, there's loads of sequels to it, but Maniac Cop. I do like the Maniac Cop series, although I've only got the one. I will get the other ones, but I haven't got them yet. And it stars the amazing, of course it does, Bruce Campbell, who's amazing in everything he's seen. Of course, Evil Dead, you kind of top him in that, but no, he's brilliant actor. Now this is a really big special edition, this Obsession. Now I remember getting this from HMV for a really, really cheap price, and I'm going to say round about I don't know, maybe £5 or something like that. I know it's massively out of print, and I think you probably could get the DVD now, the Blu-ray separately, but see the dust off them. I'm going to not do a Larry Grayson impression, although I'm tempted, and it's one of the thicker ones actually. When you get them together, you can see it's got that bit of extra thickness about it because it's got a big booklet in here actually. And I don't know about the film, but yeah, I haven't watched it, but I know I have watched it, but I haven't watched it this time around, even though I will watch it eventually. It's another one that we used to get out of the video shop all the time, and we used to love it. And it is Vamp, 1986. Loved this film, couldn't get enough of it. And Grace Jones is amazing in this film. She should make more films actually. I'm a big fan of Grace Jones. And but this has got some great gore in it as well. It's got a great story in it, and it's very 80s, but really, really good film. And all of these are I'd say they're all highly recommended. You'll have fun with them all. Now this one here, I haven't watched it. I put it in with my collection of sort of the slipcases ones, although I didn't put it in with the other slipcase ones because I'm not too sure if it'll stand the test of time, so I'll put it a bit lower down the list, the next to where my armory cases are. And it's Blade of the Immortal. Now, I got this quite cheap, you know, so that's probably why I got it. And I think I got it in a special, you know, one of these, you know, 5 for 30 quids and all that. But I am interested in watching it. It has got a good review, and it's from Takeshi Miike, or Mike, or Miike, I don't know. So it's got all the hallmarks of being a good film. So the last in this section is going to be the only steelbook. I used to have 2 steelbooks, but I got rid of one of them because it was going for daft money, and I thought I'll sell it and I'll buy the standard version, which I haven't bought yet, which I'll tell you about in the next video. And this is the only steelbook I've got of Arrow, and it's a lovely steelbook, and it's Foxy Brown, the Pam Grier film, and it's an amazing amazing film. I do like it. I was really impressed by it when I got it. It's got a lovely booklet with it. You've got the art card. Now, what I used to do with the art cards was, if I used to go through, I got them out all one day, I put them all in the bed, and I thought, right, you know, see if I looked around for this one. I got one, the more fitted Foxy Brown, see if this had a thing for the Thing. I'll put the Thing in the Thing box, that type of thing. So anyway, yes, so that's me only steelbook from Arrow, but it's a lovely steelbook. My wife bought us that. She said, I've bought your film. I went, oh. I didn't know she would know about, she must have known about the Arrow thing. This is back in the day as well. So anyway, so that's the end of part 2. Thanks once again. I was so tempted to keep this down to 20 minutes. It's got 31 minutes again, but I'm pretty sure the next ones are all going to be armory cases, and I don't know how many more of them are going to be, but I'm going to keep it quite low, around the 20-minute mark. But thanks very much for watching. I do appreciate you all watching this and taking the time out, and I do appreciate everybody who's asked to see these films. I do love showing them off. I love looking at them on the shelf. They're very good to look at. The Arrow ones are all very uniform, which I do like. And I'll take you through in the next one what I do with my armory cases to make them, what order I keep them in, and why I keep them in a certain order that I do. Those ones have been only because size and also slip cases, but colour of slip cases. I want the colours together. I wouldn't put a yellow one next to a red one, next to a black one. I'll put all the black together, then all the red together, that type of thing. But so yes, so thanks for watching again, and I'll see you on the next part, and you take care, and I'll see you next time.